Hello, everybody. My name is Evan Triggs, and this is Coach's Take. I have with me today Darius Willis, former athlete, played college into the pros, played NFL into European football. He is the founder of ScoutSync. ScoutSync is a platform for athletes to tell their story, to find the coaches for the opportunities that they deserve. Listen, Darius is paving the way with tech from the journey from football to entrepreneur, from Naptown to Switzerland. My man today, Mr. Darius Willis. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's interesting is you and I got connected on LinkedIn.
Yes, we did.
You were in town and you were working with the sports tech. Okay. So that's a summit where they bring in founders that have sports technologies and startups. Like, talk to me about that opportunity because that's how I saw your profile.
Exactly. Actually, sports tech was the reason I came back to Indianapolis. I had reached
Okay.
out to them first, looking to get started as we expand to the U.S. They were there first, and I didn't know they existed in Indianapolis. And I was like, okay, this is around the combine, so I
Uh-huh.
also need to pitch at the combine. So
Uh-huh.
it was a great sync to get back to
Yeah,
Indianapolis and also boost our company.
that was good. I was actually invited to that. I was invited to that, and I begged to get an invite, and I couldn't make it. That's what you get for begging.
It was fun,
It
man.
was good. It was good. So I saw the pictures. I was like, I don't know that guy. Let me reach out to him. So you being a athlete,
Mhm.
that's a whole nother story in regards to your storyline and your journey to becoming a founder for a business. But you played football. You're from Indianapolis,
Yeah.
but you found your way to Switzerland. Okay,
Mhm.
and along the way was pro football, NFL opportunities, all these different things. Talk about Darius in the space where you an athlete.
Oh man, my journey as I went to Indiana University, I was blessed and fortunate enough to get my degree from a
Mm-hmm.
great university.
Mm-hmm.
Go Hoosiers!
Mm-hmm.
And I played running back, and from there it was not so much because I was injured,
Mm-hmm.
and so I knew I never wanted to end on that route,
Mm-hmm.
and so I wanted to finish on top. And so after I got a second opinion
Mm-hmm.
on my injury, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm coming back,
Yeah.
NFL, here I come.
Uh-huh.
And so from that on, from January, I was just rehabbing, getting ready for the NFL tryouts, which
Uh-huh.
was pro day.
Yep.
And so I knew I needed to ball out at pro day.
Mm.
Who is this person coming in? This running back unknown. And so I did my thing, ran a 4.39,
Yep.
put on the show, and then I had 7 calls,
Mhm.
and ultimately chose the New York Jets
Mhm.
to go to camp, where I was fortunate enough to get a great opportunity.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I didn't sign,
Mhm.
but I knew I belonged
Mhm.
at that level,
Mhm.
and so I wanted to find my way back there, and so I went overseas to get film,
Yeah.
and that's how I ended over in Switzerland.
Uh-huh. So you ended up in Switzerland, okay?
Mhm.
And they're playing pro ball out there. Talk about that. Like, that's I know they're playing ball in Switzerland. Yeah, they play ball with the Swiss.
Yeah, it's a funny and amazing story actually, because how I heard about it was through Jamie Curlew, one of
Okay.
my teammates
Mhm.
at IU. He had went over there
Mhm.
and played a year in Berlin.
Mhm.
And and I was like, Switzerland, what? Is doing football. He was like, yeah, man, they got football. It's great. I know you'll like it. It's international. You'll have a great time. And so the funny story of that is, I had the call with them, and I told my agent, hey, I need to go to Switzerland tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we went to Chicago, got my passport same day, and the very next day I
Oh
flew over to
wow.
Switzerland. And it's different in terms of competition.
Uh-huh.
It's a mixture of semi-professional and pro ball, you
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah.
And the level at that time
Mhm.
was, I would say, like D3, NAIA, some Division two
Mhm.
teams, of course.
Mhm.
So it was a big difference, and also the culture aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I could not believe football
Yeah.
was all around Europe
Yeah.
and around the world.
Well, I mean, that's like playing American football over there. Like you have
Hmm.
to be an icon. I mean, that's like that you're doing something that nobody else can do.
Yes.
You're playing football here sometimes. Like everybody's been playing football their whole lives. It has to be something special. Like how do they take to American guys on teams floating around Europe?
They love it. I mean, that's they want it. So we get paid to go over there and play football,
Hmm.
coach, to build their programs, train their athletes,
Hmm.
and loved every bit of it, and you get to travel. I
Mhm.
mean, that was my first time out the country,
Mhm.
was to Switzerland, and I got to see so much other countries, and got to connect with so many players that also play, or
Hmm.
coaches from around the world
Mhm.
that are all over here doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So it was great to connect around this network of football players, and they embrace you so much because you're an American player. They say, "Oh, you play, got an NFL
Right.
opportunity,"
Right.
and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
and so they love that aspect.
Yeah. Well, I originally booked a trip because I thought this podcast was going to be in Switzerland. I was like, man, you okay? Well, you can come on to the studio then. So in regards to ScoutSync,
Mhm.
okay, you're a founder. You clearly have this is groundbreaking tech for athletes who are looking to tell their story and make the right connection to get the best opportunity for their
Mhm.
skills. You're a founder. You've got tech under your belt.
Mhm.
How did you even come up with the idea of something like this?
That stemmed from a lot of what I was doing on the side. I mean, I looked at my hobbies and what I'm passionate about. So once I knew that my transition from football, that window of going back to try to get an NFL opportunity, how realistic was that?
Mhm.
So my next wave was to find something that I am passionate about, what I want to do, and I always had a niche for wanting to start something,
Mhm.
some type of company. And so I found out, okay, I'm helping athletes. I love to train. I got personal training.
Mhm.
I'm mentoring athletes. I'm coaching athletes, developing athletes. Okay, what can I do with this aspect on a
Mhm.
business, to make a bigger impact? And I was like, okay, I love data. I
Mhm.
got started with track and football based here, also Indianapolis. I was like, okay, now I'm learning this, getting the
Mhm.
data analytics, getting the
Mhm.
insights from the business perspective, how coaches like it. I was like, I love this.
Mhm.
And then the coaching come in. I'm a head coach. I'm offensive coordinator. I'm a
Yep.
defensive
Yep.
coordinator. Okay, how can I tie those three
Yep.
elements, what I love so much,
Mhm.
and make a global impact, make a
Yep.
business out of it? And that's
Yep.
how ScoutSync came
Yep.
about.
And so this is all digital. The reason why my sons haven't seen my highlight tapes is because of VHS. so, so, but posting clips of my plays is like I can't fathom that. So, what all can you put into your platform? Like, what goes into a player who's interested in like getting their system set up?
Yep, and that's interesting because and now since being over in Switzerland, and you got to reconcile as a global platform, so
Mhm.
we have to fit the category of all the stages through
Mhm.
grassroots to
Mhm.
professional.
Yeah.
And so when I look at this, it's like, okay, an athlete from the U.S. is not going to have that same type of issues and problems that another international kid has got.
Mhm.
And so it's molding. Okay, as an international kid, not only do I have to get more exposure, so I do have to upload all my
Mhm.
highlights. I
Yep.
gotta get as much video as I can,
Yep.
statistics, because
Yep.
a coach here in the US is not gonna
Mhm.
know much about what's going on in
Mhm.
Switzerland from that.
Mhm.
And so it's building, I would say it's building your sports resume.
Yep.
And so from grassroots through professional, you get to maintain all your information,
Mhm.
get it analyzed, get it
Mhm.
verified, track every stage of your
Mhm.
entire athletic journey.
Mhm.
And the beauty of it, if you're doing multi-sport athletes, which I was a five-sport athlete,
Mhm.
you get to have analytics and information, feedback, and guidance on all those
Wow.
sports as a
Wow.
single athlete.
Wow. And coaches go to this platform to do they communicate with athletes through the platform?
Exactly. So we have a communication tool. So whether
Mhm.
you're athlete, the parents for underage
Yeah.
athletes,
Uh-huh.
scouts, in
Mhm.
the future agents,
Mhm.
all the coaches from the various levels, you are able to
Mhm.
communicate with athletes.
Mhm.
And under the team management pool. So if
Yeah.
you are a team subscription,
Mhm.
of course you get to have your whole team under that
Yep.
subscription,
Yep.
and
Yep.
be able to communicate.
Yep. Yep. That's awesome. So you're an entrepreneur, you're a
Mhm.
founder of a business. Like talk about like the vision of that. Like what I understand what your passion is.
Mhm.
Okay. But looking forward, like where do you see Darius in like let's just say 5 years?
Mhm.
Where do you see yourself?
I would say ScoutSync will be dominating the niche of recruiting and
Mhm.
scouting globally.
Mhm.
I want to transition this business into the next unicorn.
Mhm.
Where I want to make an impact, and I want to be able to help as many athletes and coaches connect around the world as possible, having the resources and the tools, everything to navigate, to save time, to save
Mhm.
the money. That's what we want to do. So 5 years from now, we are the face of recruiting and scouting. And to do that, it's building a team and a culture around that so we get to that to make an impact, and that's where we're going to be.
You know, you said global. If you just looked at the NBA playoffs, you had guys, hosting up the Canadian flag. You had on the opposite side on the West, and with the Luka Doncic and all those groups, like then they're talking about in the NBA All Stars having NBA versus the world. So the fact that you're looking at that from that perspective, you're forward thinking about global. Sports are global.
Yep.
The NFL is, I don't know, I think they're playing 6 games in Mexico. And they
Around the world.
yeah, and they played in Germany last year. Think about this. You may be ahead of the curve when you talk about what you're doing, and the rest of the world will catch up to you in 5 years. And you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking about that. Having something global. And there was another piece that you mentioned that was like, in US, we have all these resources. Kid in Switzerland doesn't have the same resources. So that's how you bridge that gap. Exposure, guys in town playing ball. You see it on TV. They may play somewhere in Germany where you can get to it. And all of a sudden you got a platform to be able to promote yourself. That's tying it all together, man.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, and to add to that real quick, it's I noticed this about 5 to 6 years ago. I said this in one of my very first pitches. I said this is going to be the strategy of the NFL as they come in and embark and start to get the marketing territory, because the NBA already had that, the soccer or football, as most call it, already had that. And I saw this vision come into play. That was one of my very first pitches.
I bet. And so, sports are starting to be global. If you look at how it's trending, that's awesome. So you mentioned that you were a coach, right? Offensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head coach,
head coach, OC, every position,
and but that's big because those all fit different personalities, different personas on each role. As a head coach, you do differently than an offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
I felt like a coordinator position was the hardest because everything rolls to you. Head coach is a little bit easier because you get to delegate down and hold accountable at that level. So you're coaching, you're mentoring. So talk a little bit about your style. Like, what type of coach are you when you're coaching, whether it be staff members or young people? Who is Darius in that environment?
I would say effective leadership is definitely something I value. When I come in as a coach, it's getting that culture. It's getting everyone bought into my big vision, because it's not going to be small. And when they look at it, I want them to be scared because I want it to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so as I go around putting the staff together, that's what I want them to see. This is what we're going to do. This is the plan for the future. We're not thinking about something for next year. We're thinking about something 5 to 10 years that's going to leave a lasting impact on us and the rest of the future for the next after me to take over. And so that's one thing. When I got into full-time coaching, when I asked, I was like, what should I do? I mean, I'm about to be a head coach. How do I get other grown men older than me? I was the youngest coach on all the staffs that I've been a part of. How do I get older men to follow me as a leader, as somebody they can look up to lead the team? And so it was all about leadership, vision, discipline, strategy. I had to make sure we had all those in place. So we went from a roster of my first year from like 40 something players to a roster of 85 players.
Oh, wow.
And then in the next year.
Yeah.
And it was the buy-in, the vision, the culture. It was changing that. And I wanted that to be my type of style of who I represent. Having everybody has a space to say with their piece, but at the end of the day, you're going to be bought into this mission of what I say where we're going.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 11 of us all together at one.
Yeah. So, but you said there was growth from 46 to over 80. Like, what caused that?
Oh, that's a great question. From that is a lot of recruiting, and then, like you said, the culture. When guys would come in, we go through the scouting part. We do like recruiting things, have tryouts, everything or from everybody's perspective. When they came to one of our practices or be around us, they was like, "I love this culture. I want to be here. I come from this team. It's not like this. I come from this sport. It's not like this. I love it here. What you guys doing? Everybody cares for everybody. Everybody's all in, having fun together, and I want to be here."
Yeah. And this is where was this at?
This is in Switzerland.
So Switzerland, did y'all have because Switzerland is like one of those states where they're neutral. They don't fight nobody. They don't want no trouble. So was y'all football team neutral? I mean, did y'all have a rival? I mean, who rivals Switzerland? Shame on you.
That's the other thing too. We're a national team too. So That's another aspect. So
Yeah.
we were club ball,
Yeah.
club team. We have
So,
rivals. We
yeah.
have
Yeah.
rivals, but then also as a national team, as a coach, now we're traveling with all of our top players from Switzerland against other national teams
Okay.
going against Germany. So
Okay.
we had two different.
Yeah.
I co
Yeah.
both from semi-professional, now professional, and
Yeah.
also the national team.
Well, so who's the top dog in European football?
Oh, I would say today, I would put the Vienna Vikings as one of the best,
Uh-huh.
well-ran organizations,
Yeah.
very powerhouse program. I would say
Uh-huh.
Vienna Vikings.
Vienna Vikings.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Vienna Vikings. Shout out to Switzerland. What's the Switzerland team's nickname?
The team I had was Bern Grizzlies. We had so many
Grizzlies.
national team,
Yeah.
but Bern Grizzlies, Vienna
Uh-huh.
Jets, and Zurich
Yeah.
Renegades.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, are uniforms fly? I mean, do guys get dripped? Do guys get dripped up? I mean, what is? I mean, are they still learning that part of it? Because
Interesting.
part of looking playing football is looking good, right? Is that part of it as well?
Oh man, so the young kids generation, and that was the big thing from the older guys that
Yeah.
just wanted to get dirty, hit
Yeah.
somebody. The young guys come in with so much on. I'm like,
Yeah.
but
I
really?
know.
I was like,
I know.
I want you to wear the same thing in practice. If
Yeah.
you wearing it, if you wearing it on game day, I want it in practice
Yeah.
too. But
Absolutely.
yeah, they dripped
No.
out.
And so, we call these kids that come out there we call them creative players. You know how in
Mhm.
the game you can create the player. It's like that you got a lot on. I mean, and you think you with all that on, you would think you'd be good. Like you think you'd be
Mhm.
the best player on the field. Don't be on the sidelines all dressed
Yes,
up like that.
yes.
Get your butt on the field.
And there was so many like that. And I want them to stay over there.
Dress the part. Dress the part. So so everybody that comes on Coach's Take, okay, this is the favorite part of my show, has to give a take. Okay.
Mhm.
Part of the whole Coach's Take philosophy is we're leaders, we're entrepreneurs, we mentor people, we coach people, but all of us have allowed somebody to coach us. Like all
Mhm.
of us have allowed someone to mentor us. And there's not a lot of opportunities where people give a chance to shout out somebody from that perspective. We always hear about the coach, but we sometimes don't hear about the tree that they came through.
Mhm.
So on Coach's Take, everybody has to give a take. So this is how it works. You have to give a take on a coach. You have to name that coach by name. If you can't, that's fine. But you have to share what that coach meant to you and how they mentored you and how you have incorporated that into your philosophy. Go ahead and
Mm.
give us your take.
That's a tough one because there's been so many amazing uh, people. When I look back on my life, all the different coaches I had from Coach Glenn Graves in the youth when I first started to when I go to high school, Lance Scheib and John Mallory. I transitioned to college as Dennis Springer, Dylan McCullough.
Shout out to Coach Springer.
And but I would say the one, and I would say who's continuing to have an impact on my life, not just from back in coach, but it'll be Mark Branstead, who was
Mhm.
my track and field coach
Okay.
at Franklin Central.
Mhm.
Um, even through then, even until now,
Hmm.
he is my number one mentor,
Okay.
and I haven't told him this, but he has helped me in ways, especially in high school, of being able to navigate and always do the right thing,
Mhm.
and be able to lead and put yourself around the right thing and always lead by example.
Mhm.
That's something that he represents, and that's something that I took in
Mhm.
to set. You don't have to follow the crowd of fitting in and
Yeah.
everything. Do your own thing.
Yes.
Mark was a prime example
Mhm.
of that, and he's the CEO of Track and Football, which is
Mhm.
having a lot of success. And that's how I also want to run our business. I also have a lot of
Mhm.
success in what we're doing. And so he has mentored me
Mhm.
through every step of the way since high
Mhm.
school, even to now as a business, as a
Mhm.
founder. He is showing me the ropes of what it takes to
Yeah.
be a good founder and
Yeah.
build a right team, surround yourself with the right people
Yeah.
to do the right things and fit
Mhm.
in. So that would be Mark as my guy.
That's awesome. What I glean from that is be yourself, be authentic. Don't go with the crowd. I saw a
Mhm.
statistic, and I can't remember the number, but it said the majority of people make decisions based on the authenticity of the vendor.
Mm,
So the uniqueness, the differentiator.
yeah.
If you're like the crowd, if you're just like the five others that I've seen, it's hard to make a decision.
Mhm.
But if you're different, if you're authentic,
Mhm.
and I'm talking about sometimes authentic is the purple, purple hair, or sometimes it's the glasses. People find a way to be authentic, but they stick out.
Yeah.
They stick out, and that's what people gravitate to. So shout out to Coach, man. That's huge because when I hear that, it's you're still connected to someone who knew you before the Darius at IU, before the Darius in Switzerland. So that person is clearly seeing the work that they've put in you as well.
Yeah.
So what? Give me some advice. What's some recent advice that he's given you? Just that you can share because now we got to tag him so he can listen.
I would say Mark has done a great job, especially as I got into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
When I was starting at ScoutSync, I mean, he's been with me the whole time, so he knows all my stories. And so as we were starting, and I was telling him and sharing my stories, it's like, Mark, man, I get this and I get this and I get this. I have this idea
Mhm.
and I want this. And he was like, you need to learn how to manage your time,
Mm.
and you need to understand that you should not give everybody your time.
Mm. Mm.
And that hit me. I sat there. I was like, man, you're so right. I was like, I've been wasting time doing things with these people, or
Mhm.
wasting time doing this, and it's not getting to where I need to be in the end result fast enough.
Mhm.
And I need to focus, and that
Mhm.
was a lot of things too. Focus
Mhm.
and manage my time wisely.
Mhm.
And that when he hit that, from since on that day, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, good advice. That is good advice. Well, Darius, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad I reached out to you and we connected. We have so much in common, and I'm right here with you as you move forward in success. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of people following you from this because of your story and because of what you're doing. And when we see Scout Sync with our kids come across their phones, right? We
Yes.
come across their phones, we know where it started.
Yes.
My man.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. That's the show.